Hey there everybody, welcome back to my channel where I talk about life skills, online tools, and entrepreneurship. In today's video, we will be talking about money habits, and at the end of the video, you will be learning tips and ways on how you can make your money work for 2021. So first money habit that you can start practicing in 2021 is to start recording your inflow and your outflow. I know cliche as it may sound, but knowing exactly where your money is coming from and where it goes, it gives you that information that you would know if your income is enough for your expenses, or if you're living within your means, or if you need extra income for you to be able to sustain the things that you want. When you know where your money is going, it's easier for you to assess your spending habits and you get a better idea of your priorities as to your spending. So it gives you that bigger picture. Though it takes time and effort to really record your inflow and outflow, know that there are already online tools that you can leverage, and I talk about that in this video here, wherein there is a certain app that you can have in your phone. It's easy to set up. It's easy also to record every time you have a purchase. So to those who are into computers, really, there is actually already free templates in Excel that you can use for recording your inflow and outflow. So just click new, and then you have their templates. There are already ready templates there in Excel. Second money habit that you can start in 2021 to make your money work is to create a separate account for your savings. Now, I always say that income minus savings would be expenses and not the other way around, like income minus expenses would be equal to savings, meaning your savings would be the leftovers after you do spending, right? But for you to really have a good savings and a forced savings, you save first before you spend. And for you to be able to fully practice that, you open a separate account for your savings. It could be a bank account, it could even be a mutual fund account. In this way, that money which is intended for savings would not be mixed up with your money which is intended for expenses. When you separate it, most especially if you place it in an account that is not easily accessible, like a passbook or anything that you really need to go to the bank or make an effort for you to get that money, you don't easily get tempted to spend that money because it's there, it's separate. Now, why most people don't do this? Because it's so hassle to open another account just for savings, but know that the hassle is just in the first part. Okay, what you can do is leverage on mobile apps for these bank accounts, and once you receive perhaps your salary or income from your business, you then fund transfer directly to that savings account or to a particular mutual fund. So if you're still looking for a mutual fund to open, maybe you can check out CUL Financial. They already have mutual funds in their platform. I shared about CUL Financial in this video. Third money habit that you can start in 2021 to make your money work is create a budget. So the very basic, create a budget for your expenses. And for you to be able to create a budget, you should do the tip number one, or the one I shared earlier, which is to record your inflow and outflow. So when you know how much is your income, how much is coming in, and you know basically what are your expenses, it would be easier for you to create a budget. Creating a budget would make sure that you're living within your means. You're not spending more than what you earn because you see it in a clearer picture. Also, creating a budget gives you that certain discipline to yourself that when you know that when you purchase a particular thing and it's not within your budget, you definitely know that you don't have any income which would fund that particular expense or purchase that you are planning to buy. I find this habit really helpful because in my experience, it guides me in my spending. When I'm about to purchase something that is not within my budget, I would definitely know if I should postpone that purchase or I should forego one part of my budget for me to accommodate that particular purchase. Creating a budget is one thing and sticking to a budget is another thing. And for you to really practice on sticking to a budget, you try to ask yourself questions every time you want to purchase something which is out of your budget. So let's say, for example, you can ask yourself, do I really need this thing right now? Or maybe you could ask yourself, what can I forgo from my current budget so that I can accumulate this new thing that I have to purchase, which is out of my budget. Or maybe you can ask, can I postpone this particular thing and buy it next month so I can tweak my budget for next month? Or maybe you can ask, what will this purchase help me in the future? Next tip for money habits that you can start practicing for 2021 to make your money work is to include in your budget a plan to pay off your debt. So staying in debt for quite a long time, especially if it's a bad debt, it could really cripple your finances in the long run. You'd always stay trapped in that bad debt cycle, especially if you don't do something about it. So one really big tip is to prioritize paying your debt, especially the bad debts, instead of buying things that you don't actually need. And also, if it's not a good debt for you to start with, then just stay away from debt in the first place. So what is actually a good debt? So a good debt is something that you would borrow, okay, a money borrowed for you to use in a business, you know that you have already calculated that it gives in a return to you enough for you to pay the debt and the interest expense. So if you would borrow something and then you're not sure how to pay it, there's no particular inflow or income that would pay that debt plus the interest, then definitely it's a bad debt. Let's say you will buy a new car for 2021 and the use for the car is just really for transportation and all. But if you use the car for business and it would give you much more mobility, you could cater more customers because of your new car, there's an inflow because of that debt, then that could be called a good debt. Even though the car is depreciating, it doesn't increase value in time. So if something that you bought through credit or utang, and it gives in to you more ways for you to have income, then that is a good debt. Or you borrow something from the bank for you to have a capital for your business, and then your business brings an income to you enough to pay for that debt, then that's a good debt. But if you buy something na inutang, and then that's something that does not give you value for you to pay that debt, then that is a bad debt. So stay away from that. As much as possible, pay that in cash. Or if you're using a credit card for you to earn points, it's actually okay to be in debt for a credit card, but make sure that when you buy that particular thing for a credit card, you actually have a budget or a cash ready for it. So that cash intended for that purchase, you pay it the next day or the next month to your credit card bill so that you won't be charged with interest. Another tip for you to make your money work and have good money habits for 2021 is to see sales in a different perspective. What I mean with the sales would be the sales with discounts in malls or in stores. So if it says 30% discount, instead of saying you saved 30%, you're actually spending 70%. Especially if that thing that is on sale is not part of your budget. So if it's part of your budget, it's at 70 or 30% off, you definitely have saved 30%. But if that purchase is not part of your budget and it's on sale, you are not saving 30%, but you're actually spending 70%. The next money habit that you can start for 2021 to make your money work is to start building your emergency fund. I know you always hear about emergency fund a lot of times, but I couldn't stress this any further. 2020 taught us the hard way how important emergency fund is. What I practice is I have 6 to 12 months emergency fund, but I'm planning in 2021 to make it like maybe more than 12 months, like 2 years perhaps. Because when you have an emergency fund, it basically gives you that sense of security in times of uncertainty. Having an emergency fund basically relieves you from additional stress, especially when things are not within your control. Also, when you have an emergency fund, you somewhat get away from that living from paycheck to paycheck. The next money habit that you can start in 2021 is start building your retirement fund. So isn't it nice that when we retire and stop working and enjoy the rest of our lives, we don't anymore mind about money because our money is already working for us, and we have built those when we were still young. So what you can do is reverse engineer your retirement fund. So let's say, for example, you plan to retire at the age of 50, and let's say you live by in your 70s, so that's 20 years plus, that you would have all outflow and no inflow in case that you will retire from your job. So let's say with your current lifestyle, you would need around 50,000 pesos to sustain that. And that's 50,000 times 12 months. That's basically 600,000 a year times 20 years plus. That's around 12 million plus something. And just imagine if you were just happy with your retirement pay, which is around 1 million pesos from your company. That 1 million pesos, that may be huge, but actually it would just last you for 1 to 2 years. That is if you haven't built any investments or any business that would bring in passive income to you without you working. Well, that is actually stress. Plus, we're already at our old age. So what you can do now is start really building your retirement fund. So include that fund in your monthly budget and set aside for it. Save and invest. Never rely just on your company retirement pay or even to the different pensions by different government agencies. Always start something, do something for your retirement fund. Next tip to make your money work for 2021, money habit of seeking for investment options. So never put your money sleeping in the bank. I mean, it's okay, it's of course needed to put your money in the bank, but don't put all there. Do not be afraid to get some and invest it in other options. Let's say mutual funds, stocks, bonds, and different investment vehicles that could give you interest more than the low interest from the banks. And again, if you're looking for a way to invest in the stock market, I have shared here how to open a CUL financial account. Another tip for you to make your money work for 2021 and start really building money habits is to stay away from quick rich schemes. Sometimes we get scammed because we believe in what they say as you'll get rich in 1 month, 2 months, whatsoever. You cannot get 1 million overnight, not unless you have built a system, not unless it is actually illegal, right? Stay away from easy money, quick rich schemes. So if it's something that you would be earning without doing anything first, that's not actually building a passive income, because passive income actually it needs hard work at first. You need to build a system so that that system would bring in passive income to you. Anything that they say that a passive income without you doing anything, that's actually a red flag already. So to recap, in this video, you learn different money habits that you can start for 2021 to make your money work. All of these are based on my experience and my opinion. Let me know in the comments if this money habit tips are helpful. If you have your own money habit that you want to share, please let me know in the comments as well. And if you want to learn about how to save money, I have a video here about money saving hacks. Thanks for your time. I'll see you in my next video.